Mayor Jackie Izzo, can you sing like that, Mayor? You ever get into a karaoke moment yourself? What do you think?
I don't think so.
That says it all.
I don't think I've ever heard you speechless there. That was awesome.
Well, I was deciding whether I was really on the air or not.
Well, she was a phenomenal athlete. We know that. Because she's in the Hall of Fame.
Mayor, good morning. So a lot of economic development going on. That really was the center piece of your speech yesterday in the State of the City. Economic development is your number one priority.
It is, and good morning to everyone. Any State of the City speech, if hopefully you can make economic development the centerpiece. We have a lot happening here in Rome, and that is going to be our buzzword for the next few years. We're setting ourselves up for a number of projects. Some of them will kick off this year. A number of them will kick off next year. So we've got some growth ahead of us.
Obviously the big moment was winning the state award. That was really important, and you guys you had to work for that. Oh,
that is a really competitive process. But we have a great team in place. We have great planners in Matt Andrews and Kiva Vandergeest, and then our association with Edge really makes all the difference. So I like how we're functioning right now. We really are. It really is a nice team that we have together for economic development. And nothing happens that we all don't work together. As a matter of fact, We're meeting with ESD today.
Let's talk about what 2018, what will come here during the next year for the city of Rome. Some of the projects you're working on.
Well, the DRI, the Strategic Investment Plan, has been filed with Albany, and we're waiting now for the official word on the projects that will be funded. But hopefully we will be eliminating the Liberty George Street parking garage. It's literally falling down. And replace that with some much-needed housing downtown. We don't really have too much housing. Then we will also put a significant amount of money into the Capitol Theater. And that's a great investment. They're doing a terrific job there, revitalizing the theater and the cinemas. The Reach Center, the Arts Incubator is really taking off. This will be the last piece of funding to finish out their 10,000 square feet space below. They're doing great things. The City Hall, we're going to continue to improve that, add on a community space there. Hopefully we're going to augment the green so that we're using that as a year-round space. We hope to add the ice skating. The Liberty James garage needs some repairs. That'll become our main parking facility, especially for Fort Stanwix. We've got an infill lot. We're going to put an RFP out on that. We'd like to see some more housing there. So lots of things happening downtown, but we also have Project Blue Crab, which is a 50,000 square foot advanced manufacturing facility. That's going to be a catalyst project now over where the former Rome Cable was. Mm-hmm. We've won $1 million restore grant to finally rid the community of that blight. We're going to open up approximately 20 industrial acres right in the center of the city. And there's not a lot of industrial space even in the county. So this is a really interesting opportunity for us here in Rome to capture some more advanced manufacturing jobs.
Now, Mayor Izzo, can you just go back and reiterate something for me? You had mentioned that if the funding does go to the specific projects, now those are the proposals that won you the DRI. What would possibly change that?
Well, there's only $9.7 million left because the first $300,000 goes to the state-hired consultant for the region. So of the $9.7 million, we've probably submitted a little over $12 million in projects to kind of assure that we will have enough funding for the projects that we really need.
Yeah.
So the priority projects we hope the state picks up. It depends which agencies can fund them. But I'm pretty confident that we will get the more important ones that we need.
So it's not just here's the money, do whatever you want.
No,
with it. Yeah,
no, and that's a really good point, Bill. Not to cut you off, but most people think that the state was just going to write us a $10 million check and then we could spend it anywhere we'd like in Rome. Absolutely not. We had a 6-month process to put that strategic investment plan together, and we tore the whole DRI apart and started again.
Wow.
And now we've submitted new funding applications to the state justifying these projects.
One of the things that I find, listen, every community has its retractors, those that disagree with certain things. Rome is certainly not absent of that. It's just human nature. But I don't see no new marquee downtown. No, it doesn't seem like you get the crazy resistance. Sorry, Jim. That Utica is getting, whether it's putting a Stewart's in or building something.
I think there's something to the leave the decrepit parking garage downtown.
What can you talk about that? Because you guys seem to be working in sync.
We really are. I think it's because when part of it is our strategy. When we present a project, we try to present great detail as to why we would like to see this project go forward, how we see it helping the community as in the future. And we always usually have another organization involved. For instance, the Capitol Theater. For Rome, people would love to see the marquee come back because it brings back a little nostalgia, but it also, I think, shows the renaissance of the theater. That was a big piece of Rome's history.
Yeah.
So the parking garage coming down, there's been a little bit of controversy there, but not much, because people realize that we have to get more mid-market, market-rate housing downtown. Some of these people want to live in the urban core, and we don't have that much land available. Utica's in a different situation than we are. They have a lot of buildings that they could repurpose and take advantage of historic tax credits. They've done a great job with that. Unfortunately for us in urban renewal, those buildings were all torn down. So we're always talking about new construction in those areas.
Boy, that is, there are so many cities, so many municipalities that went through, and it's probably part of the reason why there's such resistance to the hospital downtown in Utica, because the destruction and the erosion of old, beautiful buildings that happened in the 1960s during urban renewal.
I agree with you, because I've said this before to several people. When we finish the DRI, basically, we will have taken a couple of decades and undone all of urban renewal in the downtown area. We really will have returned it almost back to where it was.
Wow.
It's very interesting.
Hard to, and it's the one thing where everybody looks back and, boy, you remember the old days when there was a downtown, when there was those buildings that really were classic old buildings that added so much to the look and the feel of downtown. And here we are today trying to reinvent all of that and bring it back. Well,
there was a thinking at that point in time by the leaders that those old buildings were just that, old, and they needed to be, the city needed to be rid of those.
Yeah.
And it made way for new progress. Nobody really saw the benefit of rehabilitating the classics.
Right,
and how that really becomes the fabric of your community.
Do you remember the fashions back in the 60s and 70s? I mean, for us, we were a little young, but it did make its way into the 70s. I mean, bell-bottoms alone were, their judgment.
I remember, yes, the 70s. You could almost wear anything you wanted.
Their judgment,
or
Mayor.
Not wear anything.
Their judgment was not all that good. Back
no,
then,
I think if you look back, there was a lot of turmoil in the country, as you know. In the 60s, obviously, I was a lot younger, so I don't really remember it, but you remember pictures and what was happening on college campuses, that the whole tone of the country was changing, maybe not for the better. I think we're coming out of that again, and, it spans generations when you start to change attitudes like that.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, you must lose sleep at night just thinking about being in a position to make a difference. And, again, your big push when you were running, and it is today, and it was yesterday as part of your state of the city, is that redeveloping, economically developing Rome. And what's it like to be able to say, look and wonder into the future what this is all going to look like when you're done?
Well, as I said last night to close up the speech, we can't undo the past, but we can forge the future, and that's what we're doing right now. I think it's going to be really transformational. The DePaul project the $25 million apartment townhouse complex down in South Rome along the waterfront. That's going to totally change that entire area. Those things mean something. Now it becomes more important because we're bringing the advanced manufacturing facility also to that area, so now we need housing there.
Yeah,
so all of these things are kind of tying together. I'm really excited to see how all of this kind of shakes out, where we are in a few years.
That stuff that keeps you up at night in a good way, I guess. So.
No, I don't lose sleep over it.
Okay, smart. All right, Mayor, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Mayor Jackie Izzo in the city of Rome. Congratulations on your plan. I think you guys seem to be moving in the right direction.
Well, thank you, and everyone have a great day.
All right, Mayor,
you too, Mayor
Jackie Izzo in the city of Rome.